tens of thousands of people of all ages, backgrounds, and from parts of the country have gathered here today in the nation's capital for the March for Our Lives. People are taking to the streets to demand that their lives and safety become a priority and there comes an end to gun violence. This march comes as a result of the shooting at Marjory Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, that took the lives of 17 people.
You gotta fight if you wanna be free.
Students have been the most vocal and active on social media in expressing their frustrations towards adults and people in power for their lack of action in tackling this issue. Samantha Cones and Claire Wiersman from Olney, Maryland, said they don't want to be afraid to go to school.
I just don't believe that people should go to school being scared and feeling like they have to fight their way. I just don't think that we should be fighting for this. I feel like it's common sense to just not have this kind of stuff going on here.
I hope to think that people would start listening more and realizing that we're not just going to go away and give up, that we're going to be here for the change.
Barbara Parker, the mother of local TV reporter Allison Parker, who was murdered while on air along with her cameraman in 2015, came to D.C. to support the students and said she is proud of them as if they were her own.
I hope that it galvanizes people around the country, that they see they're not alone in the way they feel about gun violence in this country and that it's a public health hazard and that all these other people feel exactly the way they do. And then these numbers, the amount of people, the amount of kids who are out here, that when we come together, we can do anything.
Parker said that with the midterm elections in November, she thinks there can be an impact if people go out and vote. Headcount, a nonprofit organization that encourages young people to register to vote, managed to register 4,800 new voters in one day, according to their website. Dan McCarthy, one of their volunteers, said there is a lot of energy and activism and that by registering people to vote, they can turn their words into action.
People are angry and they want change. So I think today's a point to build some momentum and to take some next steps. So this is a launching point, which hopefully you get changes in policy, you get Congress to act, you get state and local governments to act, you get companies to act, you get the NRA to change. That's the goal.
Most attendees at the march were for gun reform, but there were small groups of people who were marching for their Second Amendment rights, with the flag of the 3 Percenters, an American militia movement which pledges armed resistance against the restriction of private gun ownership, and the Gadsden flag with the snake and words, "Do not tread on me," carried by Marines. But Adria Hardesty from Iowa, who works in the public education system, said it is time for things to change. She has personally signed petitions and taken action locally.
It's time to elect people that want to regulate the guns, to close the gun show loopholes. It's time to change the age from 18 to 21. And if you're on a no-fly list or you abuse a partner or abuse an animal, you don't get a gun. It feels pretty basic.
The March for Our Lives could be the largest single-day protest in Washington, D.C. According to the Washington Post, over 800,000 people were in attendance. It was accompanied by various presentations from celebrities such as Ariana Grande, Miley Cyrus, Common, and speeches by several Marjory Douglas High School students and youth from across the country fighting gun reform in their localities.
Last final plug, get out there and vote.
This march has been